So when disaster strikes, it can be overwhelming and leave you at a standstill.
For many of you, you might have just been affected, but AeroService team knows exactly what to do and can step in quickly. Tyler from AeroService team joined us now. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Okay, we were just talking about the flooding that happened, and we're going to get into that a little bit, but it's also back to school time, and you are doing an amazing giveaway, which we are very excited about. Tell us about that.
Sure, yeah. So we just gave away $1,400 in school supplies to 4 teachers in the community in Western North Dakota. And, you know, many times those teachers are buying some of their own supplies, so we thought we'd give back and just support the community. So it was a good deal.
That deserves a round of applause
yeah.
because teachers are superheroes in this community, and thank you so much because that helps so much with those school supplies.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But getting back to the flooding, many were affected. Talk us through what you do when you come. You actually have some tools here. Tell us about how you get started with all of that.
Yeah, so I mean, I've got some basic tools here. You can see a thermal camera here that we would use on an inspection, where basically we can go around and see what material is wet very efficiently, very quickly, show the homeowners what's happening and basically what needs to be done. So when we come in and do an inspection, we're going to figure out what the source is, where the water's coming from, what materials are wet, and then how we can mitigate those materials, what we can save, what we can throw away, and give the homeowner a cost up front to get the mitigation work done, because many times there could be issues with coverage on overland flooding.
Can I hold this up?
Sure.
Again? That is cool. And then I'm like, am I the only one who's immediately like, do you ever see ghosts on here? Or that doesn't cover that kind of thing.
My first thought is I was like, can it check my temperature? That was my first thought.
So, okay, but this is going to help you identify where the water is kind of coming from.
Correct. Those materials are going to cool down when they get wet. So when we come to the home, we're going to be able to visually see extremely fast where the materials are wet.
Wow. Okay, sorry. I know, this is
Amber,
too exciting for us.
Your face is 96 degrees.
Really? You can tell that on there. Incredible.
And then we have another little tool here. This is basically just a handheld moisture meter where we can go around and physically see if drywall is wet, carpets, you know, ceilings, any of those things, and it'll give us the actual moisture content in the material, so we know how we're going to proceed and if things can be dried or if they need to be removed.
Because you obviously don't want moisture in your home in any way, because that could lead to mold and problems.
Correct. And coming off of the flood now, it's been about a week, so now people are either to the point where things are being physically removed and thrown away, or they've been dried down properly.
Okay, and now do you have any tips for anyone who maybe did get a little water in their basement or beyond? Yeah,
so I mean, basically you can start to mitigate it. A lot of these, like I said, may not have coverage because it's overrun flooding, so if you can get items out of the way, box up personal things, move your larger items out of those rooms that are affected, get some fans and dehumidifiers going in there to bring the humidity down so you can start drying up carpets and walls, get trim boards off of walls, and basically the faster you can get the water vacuumed up with a shop vac on your own, the better off and less damage there's going to be in the long run.
So you did talk about coverage, so for the homeowners and businesses who might be a little bit worried about that coverage, tell us about that.
So I recommend contacting your local agent if you have one, telling them what happened, and they can direct you in the right direction as to what to do, because many times if the water enters the home over sidewalks or into the home from over on flooding like it did in downtown Bismarck recently, a lot of those people don't have coverage. There had to be a peril in their policy, like a roof drain came apart at a building, well then we'd have coverage. But if it's overland and you don't have the proper coverage, you won't have any insurance coverage on that. So many of these people are on their own in the community right now.
No.
Yeah, that's terrible. And I'm sure you've been so busy. I just can't help but ask, have you ever seen anything quite like that here? I know you respond to flooding, things like this.
You know, for a rain event, this is probably one of the biggest ones we've seen in a long time, probably since the flood of 11. We've had hundreds and hundreds of calls, and our guys have been working through the night and long days. So we have been basically focusing on essential businesses and getting them back open, and then going out and doing inspections and coaching homeowners to try and keep costs down for them.
So it has been a week, but you guys can still come in and you can see how the basements are doing with these tools that you brought in today.
Yep, we're still out doing inspections, we're still working on buildings, we're still working on houses. We've still got people lined up through this week and into next week where we're still working on homes that have had water in them. Elderly, people that need help, that don't have friends and family that can take care of the stuff themselves.
Any advice for someone who has done nothing yet, or they haven't been able to get a professional in yet? You had kind of mentioned removing everything out of the room, getting the air dryers going and everything. Any other word of advice for them?
You know, give us a call or any other restoration company, have us come out and get an inspection done. We can at least point you in the right direction and show you what has happened and how far the water got into the home, just so you know how to proceed, whether you're going to do it on your own or hire a restoration contractor like ourselves.
Okay, Tyler, thank you so much for being with us today. And we do want to mention Aero Service Team is available 24/7 for restoration services. They encourage you to call before a concern becomes a bigger problem.
Their office is located at 2925 East Broadway Avenue. Stop in or call 701-223-9249. For more information, make sure you check out www.aeroserviceteam.com.